My name is Babatunde Shoyoye, co-founder of Helios Investments. Helios became involved in Interswitch on the back of some macro work on the attractiveness of electronic payments globally, with a specific emphasis on the ability of Africa to jumpstart what's happening in the Western world.
My name is Mitchell Elegbe, and I'm CEO at Interswitch. Interswitch is a transaction switching and processing business. And basically what that means is that we facilitate electronic commerce. We ensure that transactions move from one entity to the other, and then we apply the basic rules that have been agreed up front to those transactions.
The big benefit of this business and the competitive advantage in this market, I think, has been the ability of the management team to basically out-compete, out-innovate anybody in the market. It's very rare to see the level of innovation that these guys actually brought to bear. You had cases where you had young men feeling comfortable in taking on Visa and MasterCard without even blinking an eyelid, with having no money. That takes a kind of process. So what we try to do is basically make sure we keep the innovation and not try to constrict or constrain their energy levels on the level of innovation, while at the same time strengthening around the edges and the sides and putting some steel in the middle.
My name is Peter O'Toole, I'm Group CFO of Interswitch. I joined in November 2011, which I think is 9 or 10 months after the private equity investment. Prior to joining Interswitch, I had a number of senior roles with First Data Corporation. It's a very interesting time in the evolution of the company. It was going through a period of rapid expansion, not only in the Nigerian market, but also internationally. So I met with the Helios team and I was extremely impressed with them. I did my research on the Nigerian market and I'd never realised what a large country it was. And when you see how few of the population actually operate in the e-payments world, it just provides a huge opportunity. Helios have brought a lot of value to the company, I believe. They've brought a lot of structure. They're helping us focus on priorities. They've brought some very good corporate governance. Both Helios and their advisors have brought a lot of international payments expertise, which has been really, really important.
Helios has brought a number of skills and competences into the business. They have access to resources that we may not have otherwise had access to.
Encourage them to continue doing what they're doing well, but introduce, support the structures around them to enable them to actually accelerate growth, provide capital, provide systems, provide people to help in places where they can't find the right people on the continent, open up doors with suppliers, technical providers from the Western world.
They bring a lot of challenge. And in this case, challenge is good, keeps us all on our toes. And I have to say, having been through this experience a few times in my career, that all parties have gelled very well together and are working in a very collegiate manner.
If you grew up as a Nigerian, you're just used to seeing 3 plastic bags of cash to buy food for the week.
Cash is a big problem for everybody, for the individuals, for the organizations, and even for government. And one of the ways government has seen to improve the economy is to see how people can reduce our dependence on cash. And what government has done in the process is to come up with what we have called Cashless Lagos Initiative. And what that basically means is that government is trying to move people from using cash as a primary means of payment to a card-based payment.
My name is Segun Agbaje. I'm the Managing Director CEO of Guarantee Trust Bank PLC. Nigerians are turning definitely to cards as opposed to cash, which was the big thing. Guarantee Trust now, we pay over 70 billion naira a month through our network of cards, and we expect that to grow. And then there's this big initiative which is starting with Lagos called Cashless, and once that catches on, we expect that you will see the volumes growing multiples. Interswitch helps us facilitate a lot of our payments. Retail's new in this landscape. We're up at about 20 million debit credit cards. I think we'll, as a nation, go to about 50 to 60 million next 2 to 3 years, and you need a payment engine to do that. Also, the upmarket and the multilateral agencies need a lot of cash management, batch payment type things, and the Interswitch platform does that for us.
most corporates, they have basic challenges. The first one is, I want to be able to receive monies from my customers for services rendered. So I need to know how much was paid, what amount was paid, where was it made, who made the payment, and where's the money now.
My name is Yomi Awobokum. I'm CEO of Owando Marketing PLC. We've worked with the Interswitch team since 2009. They ensure that we can collect the monies for our products quickly and safely. Before we got onto one of their products, we lost 1 day in processing cash. Since 2009, with one of Interswitch's products, it is an instant transactions, which in our business was equivalent to $4 million a day. They have carved for themselves a reputation and a niche as being an aggressively innovative company. They see the potential in the market, and I see them asking themselves every day, what can we do better?
One of the key success themes that runs across how we've succeeded as Interswitch is innovation. It's at the core of what we do.
If you look at the complete set of products we have in Interswitch, we have products that are targeted at the retail customers, and these are basically QuickTeller and Verve. Verve being the fundamental product as a card, and then QuickTeller being services that we have built to support our card business.
My name is Jennifer Olorunsola, and I've been a QuickTeller user for about 2 years. I pay for my internet, I pay for the toll gate, we have a toll gate here, I pay for my electricity, I pay for my phone top-up. Before using QuickTeller, I could sometimes forget to withdraw cash on a Friday night. Or I wouldn't have paid for my cable, for instance, and I wouldn't have any service on Saturday morning. Same thing with my internet. So now when I don't have my internet service working on Saturday morning, I just use my phone and pay. Instantly, the service comes back. I cannot really imagine what life was like before I was using QuickTeller because it's made my life so easy.
We had an exceptionally strong year last year. EBITDA year on year up 52%. We've seen strong growth in many areas of the business. Point of sale terminals have grown from 8,400 to 92,000 over the past 12 months. And quite simply, the reason is the Nigerian government have introduced a policy called Cashless Nigeria, phase 1 of which has been Cashless Lagos. And over the past 6 months, and particularly in Q4 of last year, we saw an incredible increase in the sale of point-of-sale terminals. Verve debit cards in the market have grown from 9 million to 13 million. Airtime sales have doubled. Volumes are growing so significantly, and we expect them to continue as more of the consumer market move from scratch card purchases to electronic purchases for mobile top-up. We've also seen very significant growth in ATM volumes, which over the last 12 months are up approximately 45%. And the great thing about this is that it virtually all goes to the bottom line. So looking ahead to the current year and the remainder thereof, we're targeting a 48% growth in EBITDA year on year. And we've started the year very, very well. So our Q1 results show EBITDA being 4% ahead of budget, which we're very pleased about. And also our free cash for Q1 is in the region of 70% ahead of budget. Although I must say some of that is down to deferral of some of our CapEx programs. Nevertheless, we're well ahead of our cash projections for the year.
If you take, for example, the UK, the question for us is, what is going to be the Oyster card of Nigeria? So we've started positioning Verve as that particular card.
In Nigeria, we haven't even scratched the surface yet. The entire industry has perhaps 25 million cards for a population of over 160 million people. So, I mean, we're just starting. We have not even begun to address the needs of government. We have not begun to address the needs of several corporate institutions. And we haven't even looked at taking this business outside of Nigeria into other African countries that have similar challenges that Nigeria has and that we've solved successfully here. Now, if you look into the future, you see there's headroom for growth, not only in Nigeria, but taking and replicating what we've done in Nigeria across the whole of Africa.
In terms of real motivation for me, it is the fact that we are part of a process that I say has brought a lot of change to the positive change for that matter. We now have the likes of MasterCard and Visa coming to Nigeria. 10 years ago, they were not interested in touching this market, but today with our success, they have seen that Nigeria is not a market to ignore, and that to me is a huge motivating factor.
10 years ago, maybe they were not interested, but right now, oh yes, I think Nigeria is very much the next frontier for them.